Hey everybody, welcome to Brick Vault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 Mocks of the Week episode where I show you the coolest custom creations I happen to find people building in LEGO bricks just throughout this last week. Like always, the creativity of this community does not stop at 10 creations. So of course there's honorable mentions and a whole lot more, all linked in the description below if you actually want to learn more about these designers and check out other designs they've created. And speaking of links in the description, we've also got a link to the web store brickvault.toys where the latest custom creation comes from the designer Jarek. He's got two different colored versions of the T-70 X-Wing. It's an incredibly advanced design with some excellent S-foil folding functions. It's got a display stand, fits a pilot, astromech droid, and despite its immensely sleek features, it's also an incredibly robust model. Video link in the description below, and now let's check out some honorable mentions of the week. Northern LEGO has a Lord of the Rings 20th anniversary tribute diorama, or vignette I should say. Easily one of my favorite scenes from the first book or movie. The builder Vixen has a tribute to Jimi Hendrix. Pretty fun LEGO build. The designer Iggs has titled this Vorpal, and this robotic design very much reminds me of Megatron as he's portrayed in the movies. Here's a wonderfully colorful medieval style mock from the builder G-Ghost, and the title in the bottom says Grand Theft Food. You can see some kids stealing quite a bit. From Victor, this is a construction bot built at micro scale. This articulating tank is called the VPL-56 Variable Artillery Platform. Arvero Gunawan is the designer. James Zahn has a fun snow monster. The designer J&J Bricks has a fun way of inlaying some brick details. This is titled Midnight Raid. Eero O'Conan calls this Messalina. Carter Witz has another vignette for Lord of the Rings, a great little standoff. Another standoff from Nor Lego. Donnie Chen built a Lego SpongeBob that is wonderfully expressive. This is the trophy for the Bricks Caliber 2021 competition from Marcus Robler. It is obviously Robin Hood that we're taking a look at. And Intert has this fun little space cat called Astra. Now jumping into top 10 in no particular order of best to worst, this first one here is from Firas Abu Jaber, and it is the Chevrolet Corvette C3. This is my personal favorite version of any type of Corvette. I believe they started coming out around 1968 and ended in the early 80s. It's got those awesome wheel wells, the slim body, and the pointy nose. This designer has an excellent flair for both shapes and closer details. It opens up in all the ways that this car normally would. It's got a detachable roof, and it's just a sleek looking LEGO creator expert styled build. It's around that same scale. This is the last top 10 before Christmas comes around. This is a great little diorama from Lepralego. It says Magical Village Over the Bridge. How often do you get to see Santa without his hat? I do like that hairpiece that they gave him when he's got his cap off. There's some wonderful designs for the arching bridge. The dark red really highlights the banister quite well. Love the snow detail, the ice, and there's even a nice little interior on the inside. It looks like a little barbershop on an arched bridge. It's just kind of a fun little scene. Now we're moving on over to an insinuated large diorama from Brick Ninja Expanded. This is titled Dragon Reborn. The towers and arched doorway have a wonderful smooth and sleek nature to them, though you don't get too good of a look here. Most of the attention is focused on this person in the cage that's sitting amongst a council in front of a crowd. There is a fantasy or a medieval element to this world, some great details that make up all of the fixtures, and if you want to learn more about this storyline, you can actually check the links in the description below to figure out what's happening. Jumping on over to an excellent idea for a LEGO build from the designer Lucas Bolt. This is titled The University Cover, and what we have is a 5,200 piece modular style creation that is in fact the Hogwarts University. What's cool is that all the pieces used for this diorama actually come from the larger castle set, so if you just get some base plates and already have the set, you can actually build this exact model. It's got full interior, tons of different classroom settings. The whole thing opens up and it looks pretty cool from the outside. I actually do think this could fit pretty darn well within a modular setting. It's a fun way to bring the Harry Potter universe a little bit further into, let's say, an integrated city platform. There's already the Diagon Alley that's done a similar thing, and it's just a great build and a great concept. Now we're jumping on over to a scene from Lego Nuts. The title is Santa is Here. He seems to have landed on a rooftop with one of those nice slanted large windows. You can see a fully furnished living room with Christmas tree and decorations on the inside, an excited child looking out at Santa who's just landed on the roof. Great lighting, great details, and he even managed to sprinkle quite a bit of snow on this diorama as well, which is a fun touch. And now we've been transported inside a very large throne room. The title is The Burdens of a King, and the builder is Andreas Lenander. The solitary figure is walking towards his throne. We have some wonderful builds for column details, an incredibly intricate floor design, and some subtle dim lighting that just manages to leak between the windows. The designer really has managed to capture a rather foreboding atmosphere, and what drew me directly to this diorama is the fine details that you see on the walls and the floors in particular. Alrighty, we're jumping on over to a wonderful wolf design. It is Boreal Vixen, so maybe that's closer to a fox. It's kind of hard to tell. The builder is Woomy World, and there is just an incredibly satisfying layer of colors as the tail is dark blue and slowly fades into the much lighter blue and eventually white and gray by the face. There is a sternness to this type of creature. The face does look a bit solemn, and the spiked snowy detail that make up the fur on the top, as well as the flaring poofy tail, feels incredibly organic and fluid, especially at a further distance. It's just an incredibly convincing creature. Now let's get a little bit more fantastical with creature designs. It kind of wrestles between creature and figure build, I should say. From the builder, Djokson, this is Dissector Demnak. I'm getting kind of a Pokemon vibe here, or maybe even a praying mantis of some sort. There's a nice round fluidity to all of the shapes being used here. Most of the parts that are seen aren't actually system bricks, or they're specialty system pieces that have been integrated incredibly well with horn pieces and armor from brick-built figures, balloon parts, wings. It's a fun combination of creative pieces that makes an incredibly fluid and somewhat strange looking creature. He does look ready to fight. There's a nice energy and pose, but if you want to talk about incredible figure builds, Moko, the designer, has knocked out the RMS 108 MARASAI. This is a Lego mobile suit, so it does fit in with the Gundam universe. Incredibly smooth and intricate and clean armor details. Very few models will ever look quite as clean as a model like this. Moko is one of these awesome powerhouse builders that has a huge creative palette, but also the technical skill for when they want to get something universe accurate like this particular mobile suit. Well, Moko can do it better than just about anyone else. The weapon is cool, the armor is so sleek, and on top of that, he managed to get this creation to actually hold some pretty energetic poses. Now, when you look at the size of this creation in relation to the builder, you can see how some of these details were captured. This designer really upscaled the model, which gave him a lot more room to play around with details, proportions, and of course, clean connections. So you should appreciate a build like this when it comes around, because it does not come around too often. All right, this last model is a really fun one from the builder Ben Smith. It is titled The Righthook. It is a Star Wars inspired MOC, and specifically this was inspired from a concept art sketch from the designer Space Goose, who just has some amazing ship sketches. And you can see that this is a Carillion inspired small freighter with an awesome open cockpit, and of course in classic Carillion fashion, it's completely offset. In fact, so much so that they call it the Righthook. The color inlay details are somewhat subtle, yet really managed to draw the eye, and the angular line detailing that make up the sides of the ship and just a few edges along the layers gives you a feeling that this is a somewhat more elegant and cleanly designed Carillion freighter compared to something like the Falcon. This builder also didn't do any pictures, but in fact they're just small, slow rotations, video rotations of this particular design. I recommend you check out Ben Smith's Flickr in the description below. I recommend you check out everybody's Flickr in the description below if you have the time, of course. It's been great getting to showcase off these amazing designs once again. I don't actually post the episode number in the video title, but we are at episode 250 of Top 10 MOCs. This is crazy. Remember, if you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share. Of course, you can always check out our web store as well. Thanks again for sticking around to the end of this video, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.